Bryon Howard with eXp Realty, and today I have the good fortune of having Courtney Atkinson here on the show. Courtney, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Bryon. Good to be here, man.
Courtney, you have no clue who I am. We've just met. We're both eXp agents. We both have had careers, I guess, in real estate, and have chosen to join eXp in sort of recent years. Mm-hmm. And I found out about you recently from a fellow Calgarian and sort of marketer, Adam McGinnis. Yeah. I listened to your show and I searched you out on sort of social, and man, I'm impressed what I see. You have a big week ahead of you this week.
Yeah, huge week. I'm super fortunate to be putting on an event with some of my friends and mentors. We've got Glenn Sanford, the founder of eXp, coming to Calgary. I've got my friends Jeff Wilms and Brent Gove coming in, another great friend, Kevin Lapp coming down from Red Deer. He's a tremendous team leader there. And we've got a surprise guest coming down from Edmonton. I shouldn't name him given how public this will be, but it's been in the works from a long time ago, a well-respected realtor that everybody in the audience will know. So we're really looking forward to bringing the value and having a good time. Yeah.
This is happening in Calgary.
Yeah, that's right. So I booked out the Great Eagle Casino, and I've got everybody lined up to start around noon. We've got registration at 11, and then it'll go through about 5 o'clock. And just looking forward to just bringing loads and loads of value to the people there, Bryon, for sure.
Better pitch on inviting people to come. I think it's a little bit about the real estate agent's playbook, and really featuring, is it Glenn Sanford, our Alberta-born eXp founder, who's now a billionaire.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Well, I'll tell you how it all came together. I've been, in close contact with Glenn since I met him a few years ago, all kind of part and parcel to joining eXp. And then between my two good friends, Jeff and Brent, they were doing a bit of a traveling roadshow, and I was able to kind of just dovetail with that and get the guys to come to Calgary. And, as much as I think, Glenn's a big draw, everybody loves the concept of hanging out with a billionaire. The fact is that, Glenn's not been in production. He hasn't, done this for a long time. Building a company like his is much different than, selling an extra 10 or 20 houses a year. And that's truly the interest that I think most agents have. And so the event is really targeted for people who want to increase their production, maybe want to scale up their teams, want to understand how to better perform in a competitive seller's market like the one that we're in, and then have the finishing touch of having kind of a semi-celebrity. Well, I shouldn't say semi-celebrity. Glenn's a celebrity in the real estate space. I mean, he's been on stages at Inman, recognized as one of the top people internationally with Swanapool. So there's no question, we're very lucky to have Glenn. But I think in terms of how he would resonate with the average agent's ability to sell more houses and make more income, I think the people, speaking before him will do that. And then this will be kind of a nice bit of icing on the cake at the end of the event for sure.
Let's go back a little bit. Tell me a little bit about your, how did you get to where you are today? How long have you been in real estate? And tell me a little bit about your path into where you are today.
Yeah, I'll keep it as short as possible. It's been kind of a varied path. I don't think anybody comes directly into it. My parents weren't realtors and they weren't business owners. And I certainly wasn't in sales, before this. I was in human resources at the University of Lethbridge. But, through a series of circumstances, I decided that I wanted a change in my life and I wanted to have more independence and more connection to the outputs that I was creating. And then also more ability to earn, quite frankly. And so I read 25 books in full transparency to learn about real estate. I got licensed, got into the business, started with a team, did that.
What year is this?
It was right before the crash, right at the crash pretty well in Alberta. So that was 2008, I was licensed. And then 2009, January, I left to get into the business full time. And things were falling apart here. As you remember, oil prices were tanking and the economy was kind of in the dumpster there for a long time. But, I just kind of put my head down and found a way to grow. And I think after about the second year, maybe my third year, I started a team, did that for, more or less 5 years. And, like most people starting teams, nearly went broke, kind of taking on additional risk, but not really making any extra money. And then had a bit of an aha moment about 4 years ago and kind of did a bit of a reset with my team and got on a massive recruitment spree and frankly, just really did a lot of internal personal work on my own leadership skills. And in that time, in the last 4 years, I built a wonderfully profitable, wonderful culture, just an amazing group of people that serve all of Southern Alberta. We've got 35 agents on the team now. We'll do probably 800 or 900 transactions this year. And the beauty for me is that, I've pretty much deleveraged from that business. I spend about 10 hours a week, between coaching and recruiting and supporting my leadership team and my senior team members. But for the most part, that business more or less runs itself. And so that allows me to spend a lot of time on coaching, which I love to do. And of course, given that we're with EXP, I spend a lot of time doing speaking and agent attraction, which I'm really passionate about, given how much I'm a kind of a fanboy with EXP Realty, as you can see by my sign in the back. So nice. I just feel like in the last 4 years, things have really turned the corner, and not due to the economy, not due to anything else, but frankly, just starting with some real brutal personal work and introspection on the way that I was showing up in the kind of business that I created around that before, and how that work can, I think, support me and others in the growth of their own business and teams and the things that they're trying to do in life. And so that's what I bring to my coaching, and that's what I try to bring to my agent attraction. And I've been having a lot more fun since I came to those realizations, for sure.
Courtney, I'm going to ask you a funny question, and this question is more about me, not you.
Okay.
And it maybe tells a lot about me. So my question is, actually, I was telling my wife just a few minutes ago, half an hour ago, about I'm having Courtney Atkinson on the show, and I have to prepare. So she's in Calgary, I'm currently in Golden, and she goes, "Who's Courtney?" And I said, "Well, he's a muscle guy with lots of tattoos and a goatee." And and so that's actually more telling about me than you. Anyway, I see you're having a lot of fun, but and then she said right that moment, and this is the question. Well, ask him if he meditates. Actually, I went on to say he has a lot of success. He's got a big team, and he's like a rock star, actually, is what I said. And then she said, ask him if he meditates. Do you meditate, Courtney?
100% chance that I do. And I'll tell you what the meditation was this morning, just so that you can tell that I'm not fooling around. I use the Gaia app, which many people do. I think it's like a $10 a month app or something. Yeah. And I'm always, kind of looking for something new. And in full transparency, I had a meditation that I did this morning that's in preparation for the event. Truth be told, as anybody would, I'm having some stress and anxiety around that. And so the one that I did this morning was with Dana Saray, and it was an inhale trust and exhale fear meditation that lasted about 10 minutes. And man, I mean, listen, what I realized 4 years ago was that, the truth is that our businesses are a perfect reflection of who we are as beings. You can try to create a system, and you can try to affect an outcome, and you can try to do this, that, and the other thing, but our businesses reflect who we are deep inside. And I realized that, the mess that was my business was a direct reflection of the mess that was me as a person. And not to say that I wasn't kind or generous or those, traits, but the truth is that I just had a lot of scarcity, a lot of fear, and the way that I built the business was on that foundation. And so I had to get to work and recognize that, hey, listen, I had to flip a lot of the mindset and the strategies that I'd been using to be more reflective of an abundant mindset and to just be better inside. And meditation was a big part of that. So was incantations and affirmations. So was, practicing a visioning exercise every single morning. So was getting up wickedly early so that I could do cardio and lift more effectively, and being more on tap with my eating and drinking, because those things all have direct correlations to how the body machine functions. And then recognizing, hey, listen, like despite the fact that I love to consume alcohol and I'm a great guy to party with, it also has a terrible impact on my business and the way that I can show up for people in my life. And I'm going to have to make a decision, like, do I want to be party Courtney, or do I want to be effective Courtney? And that was a decision that I made 4 years ago as well. And so kind of like the culmination, I think, of all those things is first and foremost that I'm feeling a lot better. I'm a lot happier, right? And I think that's what any one of us wants. I'm in a much better position to serve, which I think is kind of the second most important thing that anybody can do, is just be of use to people out there. And then the trailing benefits of that are that, we make more money and we're taking more time off, and I'm getting to do more interesting stuff that I'm more challenged by, and I love all that. But the key things to me are happier and more optimistic and healthier. That's really the big reasons I think that anybody should be adopting a lot of these strategies personally.
That's awesome. Just quick, so you're alcohol free for how long? Or are you alcohol free?
Yeah, I'm not alcohol free, but I'm like alcohol modulated to a big degree. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I'll go, weeks, if not months, without having a drink. But then I went on holidays, right? I was in the Dominican, and I had a bunch of pina coladas with rum, and I'm like super tasty. But truth is like, I have to accept the fact that there's a punishment for that. I mean, yeah, I'm having fun on the beach, but I recognized fully that like I was going to be a mess for a week. Like my mental health was going to suffer for the week after I got home, and it did, and so, I'm prepared to take that as a cost of having some fun on a holiday, but not regularly like I was. I mean, I was like most people. I would have a few drinks on the weekend, maybe 5 or 6 beer, maybe 10, depending on the time of year and what was going on. But I'm just not prepared anymore to sacrifice, what could be, 30, 40, 50 days a year where I'm at like 5 or 6 out of 10. I'm prepared to come back from a holiday and maybe sacrifice a week of effectiveness, but that's only once or twice a year, whereas it used to be, realistically, probably twice a month, right?
Cool. Courtney, when did you join EXP and why?
Good question. Yeah, again, a bit of a long story, but I'll shorten it as much as possible. 2 years ago, just about April 1st was our first day, 2020. And we had been an independent brokerage before that. We were Atkinson Realty, and before that it was with Century 21. And we were, I think, extremely successful. We had a wonderful team, mostly a teamerage, but we had a few independent agents on the team or at the brokerage as well. And what I was finding was that we couldn't scale at the rate that I wanted to. We looked at doing profit share. We looked at doing, revenue share, even though that wasn't really feasible for us. We looked at giving stock in the company away. We looked at all kinds of ways that we could grow the company using a lot of the things that KW and EXP had done to grow and scale so successfully. But it wasn't really working, in full transparency. And big reason it was because my name was on the sign, like Atkinson Realty was a reflection of me, and it was more difficult for an agent who was independent to really truly thrive under that brokerage model. And so after about, 3 years, nearly to the day, we decided, hey, listen, like we're not going to beat EXP. It is a wonderful model. We tried to poke holes in it for about a year. And with my background in finance, I got an MBA in finance. I'd been through all the financials, and I'd met Glenn Sanford personally, and, all these people that were, C-level executives with the company, and had been through like everything, just trying to find a reason not to do it. And after a while, I was like, listen, man, like, here's the thing, like, you're going to try to do this small town thing in Southern Alberta, Atkinson Realty, or you can take your company internationally with EXP. You're not going to beat them. You might as well join them. And so we did that. And now we've got team members, all across the planet. Truthfully, I got a guy in Alaska, people in Florida. I mean, we're supporting team members all over the place. And really, it just brings me joy supporting people that are having growth in their lives and in their companies and in their business, recognizing that, yeah, there's compensation in that for me as well. And the truth be told, if I was independently wealthy, I would do it for free. And so I get to do work that I would do for free that does compensate me. Like, I just can't imagine a better business model where you get to support people and have fun, share your tips and tricks for success, and see other people win and then get paid for that. Like, to me, it doesn't get better.
And so tell us a little bit about you. So you're in Lethbridge, I believe. And so you have a team there. How many people do you have in Lethbridge, like with you? And actually, I'd like to kind of delve down a little bit. So in EXP, when I was first joined, I joined just 1 year ago, pretty much exactly. To me, there was a bit of confusion months ahead of that in terms of joining, meaning that somebody just wanted me to be on their team and I was giving up part of my commission, is what I kind of thought. And then, but there's there's your team, and team in EXP is they're giving up a minimum of 25% of their commission to be part of your team. And then there's the Atkinson group. Is that what you call it? And so can you tell us a little bit about how many are on your team versus your group?
I'm glad you acknowledged that. I think there are some people that, wish to kind of give this false impression that their team is much bigger than it truly is. The fact is that on our team here in Southern Alberta, we have 35 agents. What that means is that we provide admin support, marketing, signage, literally
leads, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, every single thing that you could. And our company split is between 50 and 65%. So that's a true team, as far as the industry is generally concerned. I do have expansion team members who are on a 25% split in all these different markets. And the reason why we offer it that way is that we're just not physically present. We don't have, for example, in Lethbridge, we've got like a beautiful $2 million office. We got another $1 million office in Medicine Hat. Like, when you're offering these types of value adds from a personal standpoint, obviously you create more value, and then the splits are higher. In these other markets that we're in, it's a 25% split to the company. Now, interestingly, a challenge that we have faced and we're trying to lead the charge on is that EXP doesn't have a model for cross-border teams. So, one of the beauties of being a mega icon team like we are is that our agents have this quarter cap. They only pay a $4,000 cap with the company, right? That doesn't transcend the border. So we've got other team members who pay a full $16,000 cap, but still compensate the team 25% of their commissions in order to get the services that we're able to provide them cross-border. So that's how we differentiate. But here properly in Southern Alberta, there's 35 agents. So like I said, that's about 800 to 900 transactions this year.
Wow, that's cool. And then, so just bring that a step farther, when I joined from Remax, 15 years with Remax to EXP, and I was bringing on my first member, I spoke to my senior partner and I said, well, they're negotiating this commission. And my senior partner told me, well, Bryon, what you want to do is you really want to teach them to be independent versus dependent, because you want to support them. And that turned on the lights for me because they don't necessarily need to be on my team. I just want them in the group. I want them benefiting from all the tools that we have from EXP. I don't know, any comment on that, like in terms of the group versus the team and teaching people all the tools and tricks that they can do to work on their own versus necessarily being on a team?
Yeah, I do. I think first of all, the nomenclature is really important. Like lots of teams use the word group. So I'm really conscious to use the word network to be those network people beyond the scope of my team, right? So yeah, folks in my network, they don't pay me anything. EXP compensates me for supporting them. And they get access to all my tools and resources and free coaching and blah, blah, blah. Same thing that a lot of networks offer, right? And so what I think that our obligation is when we're bringing people into the company is to say, hey, listen, like my success is your success. Let's talk about ways that I can help you win, some of which will be fully leveraging the tools and opportunities baked right into the EXP brokerage model. Like, let me be the person to guide you in not only the onboarding process, but also the leveraging all the tools that already exist within the EXP framework that now you can leverage because I've brought you in and because now I'm showing you the way to leverage those things to your mutual success. And then also, Bryon, because you've been in the business so long, then you've got a valuable toolkit that you can then share with people on how to produce more, how to sell more, how to go out there and do agent attraction if they're inclined to, and how to truly grow their business and live a better life. Like that's part of your value proposition, right? Same for me. I want to support people in the growth of their bread and butter business, which is transacting in real estate. But with this concept that, hey, listen, we all wear out, like the human body machine isn't meant to last forever. And the transaction treadmill is a hell of a way to earn a living. If we can create some passive income opportunities for ourselves by supporting other people, not only do we get our buckets filled by helping people win, seeing them win, but we're getting compensated passively for doing that and setting ourselves up for a reasonable retirement. And so, as you know, and as I know, like that's why we're here. That's what we're meant to do, right?
Courtney, I assume you're out of production. Did you ever go on a listing appointment, for example, in the last 12 months? How long since you've been out of production?
Yeah, so in full transparency, I did go on one. It was a $3.5 million listing that we did a big production around on Yellowstone, and it happens to be a dear friend of mine. So it was kind of like all of the things that would have me, take a listing. It's 10 times the average house price in my market. Yeah. So it was one that I felt like I needed to deal with, in full transparency.
I think you shot a great video, did you, on that one? I watched it.
We kind of modeled it after Yellowstone, and in fact, right now another film crew is out there again doing kind of a reprise on that. It's actually happening today. But yeah, I haven't really done much listings in the past 3 years. I started transitioning out of production 4 years ago, and then like most people, you bounce back in and out depending on your revenue and how things are going and how your team is replicating your success. But I would say really kind of full time for 2+ years. And like I said, one a year potentially if the kind of stars align like it has. Yeah. But it's like anything in real estate that we've learned about, you kind of see it from a distance and you say, wow, I don't know if that's possible for me, but this person's doing it. And presumably if they can do it, maybe I can do it. I think for me, I was like, well, I'm just in a really small market where there's not a whole bunch of transactions. It's probably not likely. But truth was that it really became more about me letting go and surrounding myself with good people who were entrusted and felt like I was empowering them to succeed at the same level that I had. And it wasn't like their winning was me losing. It was like their winning was me winning. And once I kind of adopted a better psychology around that, it really, really took off. And so, yeah, I have no desire to do it now. And my greatest goal is, frankly, to find more agents to join the team so that I can see them be successful in that way.
Excellent. Courtney, what is really easy for you these days?
Oh, man. Coaching is super easy, bro. Like, I mean, speaking has become really easy, but it's like anything. I saw a small video on TikTok this morning about, folks trying to get their video games up. The facts are that, probably 5 years ago, I committed to a video a day, back when really nobody was doing it that much. And, we probably dump about 20 to 40 pieces of content, depending on the day. 4 videos at minimum is what I record. Plus I do 3 hours of coaching a week. And I have done as many as 7, and I did that for years and years on end. And so, there's not much that I haven't come up against in between, giving the coaching and then receiving the coaching. I mean, I've been the recipient of some tremendous coaching over the years, and the best folks in the industry have been my personal mentors and friends and coaches. So to me, like, just showing up on the fly, being able to answer questions, supporting people in their growth, whether it be, personal challenges that they're faced with, relational challenges that they're faced with, mindset challenges, business challenges, transaction challenges. I mean, a lot of these things, after a period of time, you get to just have a kind of a running dialogue about how to address them. And so that's one of the reasons why I love this coaching business so much, is that I just get to drop in with teams, team leaders, and agents, depending on the situation, and kind of support them on the fly with whatever it is that they're faced with. And usually, I don't get stumped. And if I do, hey, we just circle back and solve problems once I've been able to do some research and kind of dive into my network and get some better answers. But typically that's been the easiest thing for me lately.
Cool. What are some of your future goals? Actually, business-wise, as well as maybe personal, if you don't mind.
No, I appreciate you asking. I mean, like most people, I'm always kind of working towards being in better health as I age. I'm in my 46th year this year and feeling good, but I feel like I could be doing a better job at just, staying consistent with my eating. My physical health is really good. I do my cardio and, lifting and all that, but I feel like my diet could be a little bit more on point. So I'm always kind of working towards that. And I think that'll be a constant thing, like it is for most people. And the two kind of immediate things that I'm working towards right now are building out my coaching business. So, we're going to be probably crossing the threshold of 30 one-on-one coaching clients here in the next 3 to 4 months. So that's a short-term goal. I want to have 60 group coaching clients that'll be leveraging the leadership team that I have. So that's going to be probably like a next 9-month goal. Once we're doing that, we'll be doing events going across Canada and the US, probably one a month or one every 2 months. So looking forward to setting those up. And then finally, like most people at EXP, looking at really leveraging the agent attraction side of things, just supporting people and seeing this great brokerage that you joined, Bryon, and helping them understand why we're here, how we can help them in support of doing more transactions, living a bigger life, setting themselves up for retirement, and just inviting more people to kind of peek behind the mirror and not have this kind of like cursory outsider's perspective that we're a bunch of wingnuts trying to, pull the wool over somebody's eyes, that to truly see that, like, you, Bryon Howard, want people to win. And you are in this to support other people in their success, and having them see that, feel that, and hear that, and want to be around that. Like, to me, that's really inspiring. And I also like the challenge that other people are out there kind of not doing it in that full-hearted way, and that I've got some resistance to it. And so to me, that's a challenge. I like the challenge. I'm up for it.
Wow, man, you're awesome. I really enjoyed this call. I want to be very conscientious of your time this week.
Sure.
Your organization behind this call that we're having today, and the messages I got automated through your systems is awesome.
Hey, I'm glad it all worked, man. Some days it might not, so I'm glad that it worked for you, bro.
Courtney, what's the best way for people to reach out to you, to learn more about you and everything else?
Sure, I appreciate that. Well, they can see on the screen how to write my name out. It's Courtney Atkinson. Facebook is probably my favorite place to be, but we're on most platforms. Obviously, I have a lot of help with that, but Facebook's probably where you're going to get the most like real version of Courtney. Instagram's a good place as well, but that's kind of like the more polished stuff. And Realtors Growth Solutions is my Facebook page. That's our coaching company. If folks are out there needing support and want some one-on-one coaching or some group coaching, they can go to realtorsgrowthsolutions.com and check that out.
Courtney, thanks so much for being on the show. I look forward to meeting you personally on Thursday. I'll try and show up at 11 so I can shake your hand. And looking forward to that event. Thanks for bringing it to Alberta.
Yeah, bro. And thanks for having me on today. Such a great pleasure getting to chat with you. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday too. Okay, take good care, man.
Take care.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.